Thank you for filling the void. Today's video, the power of music. One thing that got me through so much in my life was music. Music. I was that little kid carrying his CD Walkman everywhere with him. And I would literally have the same CD in it. And I would repeatedly listen to that same CD over and over and over again. See, one of my favorite CDs growing up was the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. I would obsess over that CD and I would listen to it so many times. I mean, day in and day out. Even at my house, I would have my Walkman in. Like I didn't care. I always had it in. My parents wanted to go somewhere with me. My Walkman was coming with me. I listened to music everywhere because music was my way of escaping what was going on in my head. And another thing, another CD band that was actually really, really big. Okay, so the top three. See here. What the heck did I just say? I'm sorry, guys. I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep. See here. Oh yeah, the Eminem Marshall Mathers LP. I was a huge Eminem fan. Also, a Limp Bizkit fan. I listened the heck out of Limp Bizkit like every single day. I would listen to Limp Bizkit. When they dropped, like, Significant Other was my favorite Limp Bizkit CD, and then when they dropped Hot Dog Chocolate Covered Flavored Water or whatever, that CD was my all-time favorite, and I would listen to it. I would memorize every single song. And I would literally like play a concert in my head, like while I'm like in the car, just imaging them, like just playing in front of me, or just visualizing me at their show or whatever. Or some of them I would like turn on one of the ones that I would see on MTV, because I was a kid that watched MTV regardless. I was always watching music. Music was my big therapy as a kid because I didn't know what else to turn to. It was very easy to find a song to relate to what was going on in my head, and I can just listen to that and I feel fine. But that's generally what it all boils down to. The way you feel, the emotions you're having, find a song that can relate to what you're feeling. You'll listen to it, and you know what? You'll feel a million times better, believe it or not. This is just one of the things that really got me through a lot, which is why I have these on. I wouldn't get them tattooed because after that whole stupid FBI thing about it's a gang, blah blah blah, stupid. It's music, and but yeah, horrorcore. As I got older, and like everything got so much worse in my head. Like I had to turn to other music, like this music that you're hearing on the radio is not doing it for me. Like it's not sufficing what's going on in my head. Because as you get older, with my problem, it just gets worse and worse and worse. See, as a kid, you can listen to some Eminem and stuff, because you're a little kid. You're not going into detailed thoughts. But as you get older, things begin to start to detail themselves and things get worse and worse. I was like in my own mental hell till 25. 25, and before I went in voluntarily to get help, I was going crazy suicidal, like crazy. I mean, it could have been suicidal, it could have been homicidal, it didn't matter. There was crazy stuff going on in my head, and my body was just having enough of it. I was flipping off its switch, everything. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. That's why going so long without help was so bad on my mental state of mind. But I'm slowly working with everything. But definitely, the horrorcore genre was one of the things that I turned to growing up. Because they were the ones that really fit the thoughts that I was having in my head. And after hearing like a CD or so, I had the like equivalent to what was going on in my head, I'd feel so much better. It's like I just vomited, basically. It's like I just vomited those thoughts. But then as I got older, like in my 20s, because see, that was in high school. It was working good. But then as I got into an adult, it was getting way worse. I mean, way worse. I'll go into another, how I did my own therapy thingy in a minute. This one's just going to be all about music. But as I got older, the songs were not sufficing anymore. Are you seeing like a little pattern here? As a kid, I could listen to the radio stuff, whatever they're talking about that's approved on the radio. Oh, that's all good and dandy. I could listen to that when I was a kid, but as I got older, I had to go to a genre of music that's not on the radio because their topic of choice was always downlooked by society. But believe it or not, that music helped me at the time of my teenage years. When I got older in my 20s, it wasn't doing anymore. So you know what I had to do physically every single day? I had to write every single night. Every single night was like my way of vomiting my thoughts at the end of the day so I wouldn't bottle them up. And they would get so bad that they couldn't even relate to the music that I was listening to. So I would end up writing my own stuff. I would write my own stuff. Literally, I had to write my own stuff. I did my own music and everything to just fit what was going in my head. So when I was having, say, a certain thought, I had a certain song that I could play and I would listen to it. Next thing you know, I feel better. But even though I still had these songs, even though I still had them, I had to keep updating. I had to make something new because there was something that needed to be critiqued about this certain song that I made. So I needed to one-up it a little bit in this one. But literally, like, my friend and even my ex, they can all tell you, my writings in my music and stuff, repetitive, like I'm not kidding. Like I talked about the same thing over and over. And these were things that would bother me every single day, but something would have to be slightly critiqued in order to get that satisfaction. And that's as I got older. And I remember my sister's ex-boyfriend, he's the one that actually got me to take medicine because I was like, dude, I'm not going to take my medicine. My writings are going so well. Like, dude, you've seen my writings, man. I'm going places with this stuff. And he's like, dude, you're suffering. Sure, your writings are very good and they're very detailed and descriptive and like, but man, you were mentally suffering. And I really was. But at the time I was like, dude, listen, I'll just go to therapy and, just see a therapist every single week. And that would be my daily vomiting. And I can continue writing. But from the cycle of everything, as from a kid to a teenager to an adult, soon enough, I bet when I hit my 30s, the therapy wouldn't be enough. Eventually, something would have to get critiqued. And who knows, maybe I would have caved into the thoughts by 30, because you got to remember, I was not on medicine. I was not at all. But I was constantly battling with these thoughts, which caused me to become a recluse. So yeah, generally, I'll be a recluse throughout my whole life. But generally, music is a very fantastic way of dealing with your emotions. And so yeah, find a song of how you're feeling, play it, listen to it on repeat if you have to. Eventually you'll feel better. Anyway, hope this video helped someone. Thank you for filling the void, and I'm out.